Yes, you have read the title of this video and the thumbnail that I lost a signed job with the salary and the benefits over 160,000 for this particular year. It hasn't been the worst year I can say of my life, if I can say that way. So I want to share you the background and how sometimes when things happen you have to keep forward, making sure that and believing that things will be okay with you. So, beginning of the year 2020, before the pandemic, I had a plan, and always my plan is to find a way on how I can retire and live the rural life. So in order to do that, I came to come with a perfect plan. The perfect plan would be, among other things, find a job which is very good, mostly by federal government or also other companies, and go and work overseas in developing countries. You can work there for 5 to 10 years or 5 to 8 years depending on the nature of the contract, and then while you are there, the house you have here, you keep renting it, and because the cost of living is low in the countries where you'll be there, you'll be able to pay off the mortgage, and you'll be able to invest a lot into retirement, and you can retire very, very soon or quicker than the normal path of every single day. So, with that plan, I started in the year 2018, mid of 2018, when I came to know that you can apply jobs with the federal government, and especially most of the Department of State, because Department of State is the one also operating, or we call Ministry of Foreign Affairs, overseas. So working as diplomat or non-diplomat positions, but with the Department of State. You can work with the Peace Corps, you can work with the US government in terms of USAID, so you can work with the overall embassy itself. So there are all those positions, and as long as you are a US citizen, doesn't matter whether you are original from another country, as long as you meet the qualifications, you go through the process. So I applied in the year 2019 couple positions. When I applied those couple positions, I was shortlisted because the steps on the federal government, when you apply, they refer you, kind of like you have been meeting all the requirements and you are referred for the next step, which will be scheduled for the interview. But sometimes you might not call for the interview despite of being shortlisted or being referred to the final step. So the year 2018, I was referred to for like 4 positions, but I was not interviewed. 2019, I applied. All those positions are open every single year. So I applied 2019. When I applied for 2019, I was shortlisted again for all those positions, but I was not called for the interview. In the 2020, beginning of 2020, they called me and asked me for availability for the interview for the position of 2019, which I was shortlisted beginning of 2019. So the year later, that is the time for the interview. So it was good. It was before the COVID. So they gave me the option whether to go to DC to do the first interview or to do the phone interview. I chose the phone interview, so it went very, very good. Then with that interview, they say we'll give you the results maybe after 2 to 3 weeks. We're interviewing other people. Then the COVID came. With the COVID came, so because of the federal government and the overseas, they had to operate so many things. So it took longer. In the month of May, last year I was given the position. And I was given to sign the contract. So you need to know that when you get the jobs with the Foreign Affairs, or which is Department of State, their salary scale is called FP, foreign pay. But basically, in the federal government, they use what they call GS. In a simple way, I can simply say the government scale, salary scale, kind of that. Many countries, we have the government salary scale. So in the US, GS starts from 1 to 15 for civil servants, 15 being the highest position overall. There is no any other position above number 15. So when you apply for the jobs in the federal government, there are scale you can just start basing on the education, and the certain scales basing on education and work experience. So most of the jobs, if you start with a bachelor degree, you start with what you call GS7, master's GS9, PhD GS11, and then you keep going up. So when I applied, you don't negotiate the scale at the beginning. They will look on your education and your work experience and how you did it on the interview and everything. So obviously, the salary for that particular position said it will be between about 70,000 to 110, something like that, for that particular position which I applied, which I did the interview. So on my mind, I knew I'm not going to get a lot of money. So when the contract came for me to sign, I was given what is called GS14. Remember, the maximum civil servant is GS15. So I was given to sign as GS14 salary scale. And the salary was about 106 or 107,000 US dollar. That was the salary. So number one, that was the salary, 107. So it was 106 and 8, 900, whatever, something. So it was about 107,000. And they asked me, do you want to negotiate more salary? What? I don't need to negotiate. The salary, that was more than enough. What I really wanted. So listen to this one. So that was the position. You get that amount of money is a salary. And the position, I was either to go to Africa or to go to Asia or to go to Eastern Europe. But in the end, when they saw much of my experience, they recommended me to be in the Africa region. That was very good too. So obviously I'm going to live in Africa with that amount of the salary. But on top of that salary, there are other benefits associated to that. Number one, you'll be given the house depending on the number of dependents. So I have 3 children and myself, so it will be at least a 4-bedroom house. So you'll be having the house and the furnish, it's a full furnished house, meaning I can go just with my bag of my clothing. Everything is there. The bed, the mattress, everything is there. And I don't need to pay apartment to pay the rent. So to be fully furnished, paid for. So wherever you stay there, it was 5 years contract. And then you can renew up to 2.5 years. So it was 7.5 years to 8 years contract. So if you go there, that means I don't pay the rent. So assume you are going to the city, let's say South Africa, big cities of South Africa, or Zambia, or Malawi, or Rwanda, whatever. So 4-bedroom with that capacity of diplomat level, those you are talking about, minimum, the smallest amount will be 2,000 US dollar to be able to do that. So that means you can add, for 12 months, you are more than 20,000 more extra. So you can add that one on your salary. So let's say my salary was 107,000, and then if you 2,000, that is you are going to add 24,000, and then on top of that, I don't pay the bill for electricity, for the water, the bill for the cooking gas. I don't pay that one, and I don't pay the salary for the security guard. I'll be having security guard already paid for. Well, security company, whatever it is. So if you add all those kind of things, you are talking about another 15 to 20,000 extra. So for this, just for the number of month per year, let's say, is just 15,000 extra. Then on top of that, your children will be going to the those diplomatic school, or the schools which have children of diplomats or ambassadors, whatever, all those kind of people from overseas. So some of the countries, they have specific for Europeans and Americans families studying there. Some of the schools, they have also local rich people. They can be able to go there, and some people, they can get some scholarship to go to study in those particular primary schools. So they start from primary school to high school, and their tuition fees, you can find it is $15,000 to $20,000. There is one in Ghana, for instance, it was $22,000. The one in Liberia, it is about 19,000, 20,000. So it's just like if someone is going to kindergarten or grade 1 or grade 2, that's the school fees. So if a child is the age of 5 and above, will be paid for by the government money. So for that particular case, so my first child, Benedict, is already 4th grade. Going to 5th grade. Then there is Claire, who is 5 years old. So these two, they could get to school for 10 to 20,000. The maximum the school fees they can pay will be 25,000. So if you add, the school fees will be paid for, let's say, just 10,000 per child, just like a small amount. But usually most of these schools are more than that. So with the 2 kids, you add 20,000. So up to that particular moment is $166,000. Then traveling from here to the country you are going is paid for flight ticket using the government passport. If you have, household goods, they are also paid for you to travel with up to that particular country. And in each, after every 2 years, you and your family will be given the special leave to come to visit America, to get to use it back to the American culture before you go continue to another tour. That ticket for the entire family, go and return, is also paid for. So this was the biggest deal which I signed for. But why didn't I finalize everything? So this year again, so that I signed it since last year. But with COVID, I cannot go to work overseas. The position is overseas position. With the COVID, no country is opening up. Even like embassies around, the visas are very limited. They are very scarce and all other kind of things. So they waited for more than a year, and it didn't go through. So later this year, after more than 1 year of waiting for the position, usually the government position, after signing the contract, you cannot start a job like you'd say a year, 2 years just waiting at home for that particular position to come. So the position was cancelled in that way. But with the priority have been given when those positions start again, people to go place in those particular countries, we have to redo the interview, and then start the process where you have to get the medical. We had already done the medical for the full family. We have done the police, not police clearance, it's just the top secret clearance. You already got it because it's a government position. So just assume you already have everything. What I was waiting is the country to go and start the job. Already you have everything, you already plan, okay, when I go there, this will be my I was able even to pay off my full house mortgage within a year, because if I was able to have over 120, 150 per year, I could be able to pay the mortgage within 1 year or 2 years. And when you come back after 5 to 8 years, you already have the full house paid, you have full almost $1 million already in your bank account saved with retirement, and you can be able to do some part-time jobs here, work from home. So that has been a very big backlash for me when we talk about the COVID. So each person has gone different kind of positives and negatives. Some people have benefited a lot with the COVID. Some people have been negatively affected with the COVID. So for me, I was highly affected with it in that particular sense. But you have to keep on it. Keep continuing with life. You have to figuring out how are you continue to continue with the retirement plans in the future. So that's my story so far, and I'll be able to share some of these jobs for people to be able to apply. Most of these jobs you must be a US citizen, and you don't have any criminal background, you have good education, you can apply to work with the I mean, there are different positions with USCID, whatever. Those one you work overseas, specific overseas. I will post the links. You can apply and just directly become diplomat, or you can become a Peace Corps staff, not volunteer, as a staff overseas. I'll put some of the links here. You can be able to see if you are a US citizen. Remember, you have to be a US citizen here already in America to be able to apply for these kind of positions. Doctors, they can go and work as a physician for the diplomats. So there are so many, our psychologists, whatever, there are so many positions to do that. So I'll keep sharing this kind of information for you to be able to consider different opportunities on your own. Maybe you can be one among the people who can benefit from those kind of opportunities. So that is my story, but I'll keep, I've already applied and I've been shortlisted. Once the interview comes again, they're opening the interview, I'll be interviewed again, which will be easier now because I've done those interviews, so I know what to expect and everything to prepare myself. So thank you. That's me, that's my story, how I lost the opportunity, a job which I signed, which could give me over 160,000 US dollar as salary and benefits, along which there are direct cash benefits while you are working overseas. Because even apart from this one, there is extra money you are given. They are called the COLA, cost of living adjustment, which can be over 10,000 per year again. So it's extra money, and in some places you can be given extra. They call the hardship pay. So it's a lot sometimes when you go to work overseas as American citizen, whether it's for federal government and sometimes even for the private organization or private companies. So thank you. Don't forget to subscribe and share the video to others.